Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Oh shit.
50,000 people. Michael Irvin just showed up.
Wow. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Is this how we're starting the show? Is this how we're starting the show? Yeah. Look at that, dude.
What's up, bro? How y'all doing, man?
Good to see you. How are you?
Good,
Welcome to the Icebreakers Drinkin Bros crossover episode. Two legends meeting each other for the first time. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Dancing with the Stars. What are you talking about?
Dancing with the
We did all
Stars.
that stuff
You guys
together,
went
man.
everywhere.
My boy, I watched Chuck get ready like you say, man. We just dancing. Calm down. Calm down. We just dancing.
I'm getting ready to dance. Right?
What the hell you doing all this for? What? About to dance.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We don't dance.
That just bumps it on your show?
No, it's perfect timing. Come on in.
It's all right, man.
Come on in, Michael. Yeah. I tell you what, grab a drink, help yourself. We're here, grab some food. All of it, help yourself. What are the chances you start a show off like that? That is hilarious.
He looks like he's fucking 25 years
It's
old.
crazy. Michael looks like he's still playing. It's unbelievable. You and Michael are in the same type of shape. Like, what is that?
What do we do? How do we get to
How
that?
do we get to that?
How do we look like that?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's got to be something else. It's got to be something else.
I mean, push-ups. I mean, he's going right to the nacho bar, so it's not diet.
I mean,
Maybe it's nachos. Shit.
maybe it's
This whole
nachos.
time
Maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah.
Maybe it's not. We're live from the Canelo Alvarez fight at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, aka Jerry World right now. We were not prepared to go on this quickly. However, there's been a lot of knockouts early on, and it's early. It's early. Michael, it is early, dude. I was not expecting this. Usually these fights don't go off till like 11 or 12. Here we are. Trying to fill time. They're going to try to fill time. Adam might have to go into the ring.
Might have to
and
go
do
on
2
stage
hours.
and do stand-up. Yeah, you want to come out with me?
Oh, I thought you were gonna fight. You're not gonna.
I got 2 hours ready to go. I got 2 hours of Canelo material, all locked and loaded. Yeah.
I think we need to get Chuck out there with Jake Paul in this ring.
Oh yeah. We
could.
Is he here?
We could.
No, he might be.
Tyson Fury's here.
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury is here.
Yeah.
Chuck, you ever fought a Mexican? This Mexican audience travels.
What?
The Mexican audience travels.
So we were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking. We were talking earlier about you've been to live Conor McGregor fights.
Well, I think he figured out he was Mexican halfway through his career, but
23andMe, right?
23, yeah.
Wait, those Conor McGregor fights, how do those...
5 to 10,000 people from Ireland show up to every single fight he does. But there's like 35,000 Mexican people here right now, and they love. Everybody's wearing a Canelo.
Every time they
stuff.
put Canelo on the screen, it went
This is
bonkers.
This is one of the coolest fucking events I've been to so far because people are hyped the fuck up for this shit.
70,000 people, no mask.
You don't see people getting super hyped up for boxing matches anymore, but this one, people are tuned up for this.
oh, this is some kind of record, right?
Yes.
Box-
This is the largest crowd since COVID started last year.
But this is the largest crowd for a boxing match I think ever.
And
It's
second,
gotta be close.
second largest crowd to Cher. Cher actually opened Cowboys. That's not true.
That's true.
Yeah, it is true.
It's true. It is true. No, it might be. Look, Springsteen opened up Staples Center when I was a waiter in a luxury box. The
was
same
like
as this.
97.
That was my first. I'm 33 years old, so I don't know what he's talking about.
That
But
was 97.
when I did it, Springsteen opened it up, and it was just like, all right, shit. People were amped, didn't know what was going on, and
Wait, raise your hand if you've been to a boxing match before.
oh yeah, tons.
So this is my first.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No way.
So thank you. This is
That
my.
doesn't surprise me.
You guys are popping.
It's got to be cool.
You guys are popping my boxing cherry.
This is what this is all about. We didn't really care about the show or hanging out with Michael Irvin or anything. It was about getting you some experience.
Dude, this is unbelievable. And I will say this, like most sports, once you see it live, there's just a greater appreciation. Like even just seeing these guys walk out and seeing the and getting to talk to people about it at a level to where it matters. I'm just paying attention to a lot more of like the pregame.
Yes.
It's interesting to run into people that actually know the sport of boxing, because I wouldn't have expected that. Because people grow up playing baseball and football and soccer and shit like that. And
How many people do you know growing up that box? I don't know.
I don't know any.
No, and Chuck, for you, on a night like tonight, when you're waiting backstage as the main event like Canelo, what's going through your mind in a moment like this?
For him, or are you talking about for me watching?
Yeah.
Well,
No, for you as a fighter.
As you as a fighter, like what?
The fighter.
Yeah, what were you waiting for?
Well, no, man, I'm excited, man. I just put in a long camp, and for me, I love my job. I love fighting. So it was the reward for me was that fight. So I'm finally there. I'm just ready to go. And I think I was telling you earlier, when I walk out, I take a little time to enjoy the crowd. Like, 'cause it used to be deafening. I go walk out, it got so loud.
Well, it's still deafening today. So it took us about 45 minutes to get, 300 feet?
Yeah. Chuck can't go anywhere, but let alone outside a stadium at a fighting event. I mean, it was bonkers. You're a Beatle out here.
Yeah, you are. This is one of the first times I've been with someone in a group that's a legit A-list person.
Oh, the only time I got stopped, it was.
Whoa, bro! No, you're every day you are.
No.
Every day you are.
Well, you go back to the
Funny story. I was staying at the Standard in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The manager comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, man, you're really popular. All my staff wants pictures with you.
Yeah.
I really thought you were a B-list celebrity." I went,
But I think you're B+ right now. Yeah.
I said, "What?"
Thank you. Also,
Was
fuck
it
you.
yeah, that kind of a sideways compliment. I mean,
Yeah.
the manager of the hotel.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm like,
So nervous.
Thanks.
what?
Can I get more soap, or am I not allowed? Like,
Are the egg rolls free now?
am I not that high? But even in the box, people are screaming up at you to take photos of you in your own box, and they're not even in the
Not
picture.
even with you. They just want a headshot. What is?
So the other part of that is this little group of what I'm told are gypsy children that surround the Dallas area, and I'm not kidding. There's different segments. So there's
This high.
There's what appear to be 14 to 16-year-olds.
Yep.
Then there's like what appear to be 8 to 10-year-olds.
Yep.
They're all dressed the same suits, but a regular shirt, no collared shirt, suit, t-shirt, chain, freckled faces,
Cowboy
ginger
hat.
hair,
Yes.
cowboy hats. What the fuck is happening here? What is this?
I hadn't heard of it, but
Because they're all sitting in seats that cost about $2,000.
a lot of money. So I ran into someone on the way in, and they were freaking out. They were like, "Accepted," and I was like, "Accepted is on Netflix," and I was like, "Yes, but your children in suits. What are you doing
They're
here
12 years old. They shouldn't be watching that movie.
at all?" But I can't figure out where they came from or why they're here. But there's a.
But they're not with like. There's
They're
no
not with
adult
parents.
supervision.
They don't have parents.
Yes.
I think it's one of those things too where.
Is it the Newsies?
Yes, those are the.
that what's
those are
happening here?
We should say this too. Chuck is, because it's an easier said than done thing to be so generous and accommodating. This guy stops for every fucking person that stops. We have to pull him away. And the only time I got stopped was somebody be like, "Adam," I go, "Yeah." They go, "Get the fuck out of the way, Chuck." But yeah, man, you're so great to all your fans, and it's like, I mean, is there in an event like this? Is it? When do you have to find that balance of like, oh man, now I need to go inside and maybe shut it down?
Look, man, I love my fans. I got paid a lot of money to do what I love for a living.
Yeah.
And I still get paid a lot to do things because of my fans.
Yeah. They're also respectful.
They're good people too.
And nobody was like bombarding you or grabbing
Yeah,
you. Like,
they're respectful. They're great. I try to do the most I can. I mean, at an event like this, you got to expect it. It's a fight. There's fight fans.
You do. You got it's all for the fans, man. You got to do it for the fans, you know? It's like there's not a picture, there's not one time Chuck doesn't not take a picture. And like that's what I really
Quick selfie there.
that's what I really dig about him. He's like always open and no, but you are, dude.
You're too open.
Yeah, but
I saw you got swarmed last night by 300 people, no lie. And it was one of those things where.
So we were walking from Lonesome Dove in Austin over to Vulcan for the comedy show. And like 45-year-old homeless dudes are walking up asking for a picture.
Yeah.
Like, what are you using for the picture, bro? Like you're homeless.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, can we get a picture, Chuck? And like the dude's clearly homeless.
You're like, that's a shoe, man. He's like, you're just jealous. What are you, an Android bitch? You're like,
Where are you hanging that picture? Where is that picture going for you?
But for real, you can't go fucking anywhere anymore, dude. Jesus Christ.
All right, hey, the pluses outnumber the minuses for me, so I don't mind. And hey,
That your fans are super cool and respectful too.
Yes.
Like ours are the same. We've had, I don't know how many hundreds of live Drinkin Bros events we've had, and it's a bunch of alpha people, military people, right? We've never had a single, not one fight ever.
A single incident.
Once.
Everybody's super respectful, and it's great. And
So you can't really complain about it.
and I don't understand a lot. Like some people come to me and tell me how I helped them get through this or get through that, and I really meant something to them. And I don't really understand how I did it, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And it feels good to have someone tell you, hey man, you helped me, get through this or get through that. Right? And lately I'm getting a lot of guys go, hey man, some of my best memories of my pops was watching fights.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a thing for sports, for real. Like I've heard that a lot.
People said that tonight to you, and it was just like, hey, it was my dad introduced me to UFC because of you.
And that's a big deal for you because your grandfather raised you basically, and he taught you all this bullshit, how to be a man and all that stuff. So that's got to
100%.
resonate for you, right?
Yeah, same thing. For me, I always say that was my one regret. He didn't get to see me be champ.
Yeah. For you personally, your fiance is here. She's a diehard Cowboys fan.
Diehard Cowboys fan. She's holding it together, not
hold that against you.
not bombarding. She's sitting next to Michael Irvin eating nachos. This is definitely a NyQuil dream come to life.
This is our first time in the stadium. We are in the end zone.
Diehard Cowboys fan, right?
Diehard Cowboys
She's
fan right
keeping
there.
it cool. She's keeping it cool.
Trying to keep it cool. But Michael Irving's in the building. Like, it's got to be wild for you to be like, hey.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is.
But do you hate him as a Seahawks fan?
No, dude. This is. I mean, look. When you're a sports fan.
Do you transcend?
Oh yeah, dude.
If you're that great, you transcend.
Well, let me
the
say this, dude.
rivalry?
There are teams. I think especially when I was a kid, it's like that's when the America's team, Cowboys team, was truly America's team. And my Seahawks were dog shit then. So when your home team is bad, you still root and support them, but you latch on to the team because you want to feel that winning feeling.
What about fucking?
And that was them.
What about Paul O'Neill then? Mariano Rivera.
Paul O'Neill?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy, if I
Yankees
saw him,
guy.
I'd spit in his salad. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the Mariners were good back then.
What's that?
The Mariners were good, and the Yankees fucking knocked them out.
Also, the Yankees are different, man. Again, like the Cowboys, like also too the swagger. And Chuck, you can attest to this, man, because you are the epitome of that. Like adding the swagger and the likability to your sport, like Michael did and still does, adds a lot. So as a fan, and especially a kid, when you're watching, you're like, oh man, like seeing a guy that not only is having fun playing, and you go, man, he'd probably be cool to have nachos with, which I did fantasize about, and now it's coming to fruition,
That's why I love Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a dick. He's just really enjoying what's going on, man. It's good. It's fun to watch. You want to watch people having fun.
It's fun for the game. It's fun for the game.
How tough is it when, like you just said, like you get hyped up, allowing the crowd to like contribute to the enthusiasm, but like, is there
Still stay focused.
Yeah, like how do you balance the focus and fun?
Look, honestly, as soon as the cage closes, I walk in, I'm focused. None of that matters anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm I'm a calculated fighter.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about? So you're walking up, you get to the cage, you're getting checked out by the fucking ref on the sideline, right? You're hearing all this shit going on, but then what happens when you step? Do you is it turning the hat backwards and fucking over the top? What is it? Like what goes
It's
through
like
your head?
okay, here we go. I got your game plan. I always have kind of almost like a football where you have 10 plays they run it to see how defense works. That's where I start. I come out.
So you
see,
scripted coming out like I'm gonna throw a couple.
I have to mind. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see how he reacts to this guy because I saw it on film.
Right.
I saw him do how he reacts. I'm gonna see if he's still reacting that
So
way
you're
to me.
trying to make sure he didn't switch it up.
He hadn't switched it up or hadn't changed.
Yeah.
Because if he did, it's gonna work. Right? I mean, there's a number of fights where we added something, took something in and put it in for that fight, just for that fight, like this backward uppercut or certain thing that we were using in camp. We saw in film and it worked, and I ended up winning the fight because of it.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's funny you say that because that Masvidal thing, when he kneed Ben Askren in the head, seemed like a spur of the moment thing, but it turned out after the fact we saw 6 weeks of him training that exact play, right? Like he knew if Askren charged in on him, I'm doing that, right?
Exactly.
So he trained on that for fucking like almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Before.
Is it the same way for boxing? Let me ask you that. Does Canelo come out with a game plan immediately, There's like, all right, great. I'm going to do this for the first 2 or 3 rounds,
There's
or
a
is
lot
it
more
way
volume.
different than
There's
MMA?
so much more volume up.
I'm not sure guys are different. Different fighters fight different ways, but I'm sure he's got a game plan. They've looked at it. They know how he plans on
Canelo
going.
definitely has a game plan.
Well, let's ask him. I got his
Every
Facebook
game-
page.
game
Let me just shoot him a message real quick. See what he says. He'll get
Hit him up on Twitter. and
Yeah,
see what he
He'll
says.
get back. He's chilling.
He's a very.
What are they
smart-
doing right
he's
now,
A
do you
very
think?
smart fighter. He's very. He's relaxing.
Relaxing, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look, all your work's done. You're back there. You're warming up. I mean, and some guys got a little bit of nervous, but they're not just like that excited nervousness.
Is it like pacing because you want to stay warm, or can you sit for an extended period of time?
You can relax.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does it different. I warm up a little bit, I can move around. I want to go out with a little bit of a sweat. I want to do enough, but I do
But
what
it
I feel
depends
like
on the
is it.
guy, right? Like there's some relief pitchers in baseball. Instead of throwing the 22 normally they think 22 to 25 pitches to warm up. Some guys will throw 5. They're like, I'm good.
Oh wow.
'Cause that's just how it's.
Wanna
it's
save
like,
it, yeah.
It's kind of like your circadian rhythm. You need to sleep a certain amount of hours at a certain amount of day to be the most efficient. Everybody's different like that. And I always wondered if it translated into combat sports like that.
Oh yeah,
but it
for
has to,
sure.
right?
Like for me, like I get up the morning when I wake up. I don't get up till late because I'm fighting late. But I get up and I run. I get up and do a little. I do a little, like a, maybe 10 minutes, just real short. Just so I don't want the first time I warmed up. I've been training for the last 10, 12 weeks. When I got up, and then at night. At least those 2 times a day. So I don't want to get into the, okay, now the one day I'm going to fight, now I'm going to change everything.
Yeah. But it's about figuring out where you operate the best, right?
It is. And what are you doing on a night like tonight where there were so many quick knockouts that your schedule's moved up faster than it normally is?
Well,
Like,
if you're the title fight, though, you're going to go on at the right time.
sure.
There's a ballpark time they put you on. And, they give you warning. Hey man, you're ready. And actually, my trainer would wait to even tape my hands till we got pretty close.
Till game
Oh, he
time.
was.
Yeah, he'd
Okay.
tape it. He'd take it.
How long does that whole process take?
It just depends on the guy. 20
Like
minutes,
15
maybe
minutes,
50
20
minutes?
minutes? So you can wait pretty deep.
Yeah, you wait, and then you start moving around with them. So.
Do we think they're paying attention to any of the online hype building up to the fight? Like I know it was different when you were fighting; there wasn't as much. But are they online? Are they reading anything? Are they on?
Braun says he goes into playoff mode and turns off his social media or whatever the fuck. No, he doesn't.
You think they all read it? You think these guys are paying attention to
depends on
what's?
the kind of guy.
I used to get on there. Well, we didn't really have it when I was fighting.
Yeah.
Like at the end, I'll get on there, but even though any social media for me, if I'm on there commenting on anyone, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if I don't know you, you don't know me, I give a fuck what you think.
Yeah.
So you can say anything you want. You can say anything you want. If I respond at all, it's just to be funny. And then I let my fans rip people apart.
They do.
They do a hell of a lot better job than I do. Too.
Oh, that's amazing.
They're
You gotta let me know.
They're
Like,
a lot funnier than me.
Dude, you should give me your login one night. Let me have a couple of tequilas and just fucking go to town.
It's a Chuck Liddell takeover by Adam.
Why not?
Get
Let
a
him
Chuck
take
beef
over
going.
on Twitter, yeah. And then he starts going after Jake Paul, Logan Paul, every single person.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, I will fuck you up at your brother's house. And then that joke fits for both of them. Yeah. So you're good to go on that.
It's like both balls out.
That's 2 for 1 right there.
Yeah. Because when we walked in, there was a lot of people asking, would you do it in Cowboy Stadium? Would you fight Jake
we were
in Cowboy
taking-
Stadium? Dead serious.
When we were taking pictures over there, somebody
Yes,
was like, where's
yes.
Chuck in a box? I'm like, when Jake Paul accepts the fight.
Yeah.
That's when he's going to box.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen, right? I mean, I just feel like we're leading.
That's what I feel like.
I mean,
But what you're
That's
talking
the sim
about,
world.
what
Yes.
you're
We're in
talking
the sim
about,
world.
Yes.
If you're a guy like Michael Jordan that gets motivated by external bullshit, if Michael Jordan was playing today, he would probably be reading every post. And he'd be like, fuck that guy. I'm scoring 40 tonight. Fuck that motherfucker, right?
and he would take on some guy who's
Yeah.
like a Jake
Some
Paul
fat
just to beat
dummy,
him,
you know?
just because he's talking shit, just to
Yeah,
shut him up.
exactly, yeah.
Wow.
But some people don't, like Chuck doesn't give a shit. That wouldn't work for him. Like he doesn't care, right? He just wants to fucking mash somebody the fuck up, which is what I would rather see.
And the crazy part about it is in the background, we're about two fights away from the actual main event. We're still talking about Jake Paul because this fight was so boring. Like, for real. It was so boring.
Well, look, I mean, it's a lot of these boxing cards. It's like you look at that minus 800, minus 400, minus 1,000. What was that one? Minus 3,000. That's 30 to 1.
Yeah.
50 to 1.
I've never seen consistently wide odds on a full card before like I have here. Everything was, the first fight was minus 5,000. And even Canelo it's unifying 3 title belts. It's still, I think the lowest it went was minus 630 or something.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy.
I mean, I ended up betting on the rounds, so I took Canelo in 7 and 8. You watched me do it. MyBookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that deposit up to $1,000. I put 500 on the 8th, 500 on the 7th for Canelo. That was the best option I had.
I put 100 on 11 and 12.
11 and 12.
Because that's where Canelo's been finishing his fights lately.
Are we talking predictions at all or no?
Yes, the over-under's 10.5. Yes, yes, we are. So I've got the under. That was the best value pick, and I've got knockout in round 7 or 8. We'll start with Chuck. Chuck, who do you got?
You don't think it's going 12?
No.
I think it's
I told my guys pick 5, 6, or 7 for knockout, and it's an under too. I mean, you got to do a prop bet to make it fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not much for betting when it's minus 800 or whatever it is.
But
Down to
five-
minus 650.
You gotta add some investment.
5, 6, 7 are the most likely knockout rounds. 11 and 12 are the likely TKO rounds where the other guy is tired. Saunders is tired, and he's just not defending himself. So those are the best values. 5, 6, 7, and 11, 12 are the best values. If you're gonna bet now, we still got time.
Are there prop bets for like what song they'll walk out to, or is that already predetermined and announced?
Oh, the song. I don't know.
Like it'll be like, hey, Canelo's coming out to Chumbawamba's Tough Dumping, like
yes.
20 to 1.
By the
Like a
way,
Super Bowl, it's better than everything.
Yeah.
by the way, on your guys' show this week, Anderson Silva announced he's gonna walk out to DMX for his next fight, right?
Yeah.
No, that's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
it's dope.
So with him fighting again, do you agree with that? Should Anderson Silva keep fighting?
As long as I've always been one of those guys. If you want to fight, fight. Look, man. If you want to fight.
Yeah.
He wants to go try boxing. It's fine.
He was so great before the injury. I hate to see it because I don't want to see anything bad to happen to him. Yes. I don't want to see that. You're a football fan. You know it. Like, it happens all the time in football as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, but then you get those like magical moments, like Favre. Everybody thought Favre should stop, and then it's like
thought Tom Brady was going to fail in Tampa Bay.
That's an even better example,
another
man.
Super Bowl ring. Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like if they like Chuck said, man, if they got the will and they're locked and loaded like he was. I mean, even talking to him, he had to cut the interview short because he had to go train, or we were just boring as fuck. But either way, like he.
No, it's because you kept saying Boris Griffin.
Yeah, I kept saying, yeah. Well, I stand by that. I still think it's Boris. I think the world is wrong.
We should.
I think Forrest is a liar,
yes.
and your name is Boris.
He's a secret Russian spy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
He's a great dude in real life. When we've done multiple shows with him, I kept asking him over and over at one show. I go, remember that night when you lost and you cried? And you cried. You broke down and you cried over and over again. I said it 4 or 5 times to him. Finally, towards the end of the show, he goes, hey, motherfucker, you're going to keep asking about me crying in the ring? And I go, Forrest, I wasn't the one who cried, so, like, I don't know, because I've never been there.
He's
really such a funny
he's
dude.
He's the nicest dude of all
awesome.
time.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He is so good.
So he'd love to know that I make this name up.
Yeah, we'll get you guys.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get you guys over to the Performance Institute in
I
Vegas.
want to go in there and
It's
check
fucking
it out.
dope, dude. And Forrest runs all the new fighters that come through. He's kind of like the operations manager for the PI in Vegas. So they have multiple gyms. They have a PhD doctor on staff. They have like a hyperbaric chamber with a bunch of cardio equipment. All kind, like a nutritionist, all kinds of shit for the fighters. So anybody that's on the active roster can come through and use that anytime they want.
So by the way, I didn't know this. Canelo is one of 8 brothers, and they were all professional fighters. Did you know that? Apparently, his one of his brothers, how he got into it was a pro boxer. They all boxed on some pro level, and he started when he was 13, and by 15 was 44-2. Thank you, Wikipedia. Yeah. So, and that begs the question. Obviously, like, what age do you think you need to start to become this great?
Not that young.
No, not that young. But I mean, in Mexico, you do start that young. So, like, you know, some of those guys like
Boxing,
Julio Cesar.
baseball, and soccer down there. Man.
Julio Cesar.
Yeah.
I mean, he had, what, 70 fights before as an amateur and then became pro and then fought another 90 times. It's a different world.
My trainer had 200 amateur fights before he fought.
200 fights
amateur fights.
before he was
Pro, he fought 20. He had 20 pro boxing matches. He had like almost 40 pro kickboxing matches. He had a lot of fights.
They're showing shots of them on the screen now. They're booing him.
Saunders getting his inside of his palm
Heavily.
massage,
You can
and
tell
they're
you're-
doing a palm massage.
You can tell you're in Texas right
Like,
now.
leave his thumbs alone. He's a pussy. I mean, that's aggression on another level. Where
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are in Canelo world right now.
Seriously, man, we've been to 2 McGregor fights, 2 big McGregor fights. And it's a big crowd of Irish people making a lot of noise. Nothing even close to this.
This is all Mexican
I've never
right now.
seen
I mean,
I've never seen anything like this.
Joel, can you get a shot of that? I mean, we've got, it looks like 80,000 people out there. Get a shot of the crowd real quick.
This stadium holds about 100,000. So
Yeah.
there's 65,000 people here
I mean,
today.
it's amazing.
What does it mean? They say Canelo is a body puncher, like formidable body puncher. What does that?
Can we show him a body part?
Yeah, you want to? Yeah. Hey, email me, Chuck. Email me, dude. Yeah. Or one shot to the gut. I'll take it. Fuck. Are we filming? No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Adam, if you get punched,
He got so excited.
if you get punched in the jaw and it whips your head around, destabilizes your brain, you get knocked unconscious, right? Your brain's protecting your body.
Yes.
You get knocked unconscious. You get hit in the liver, there's like a half-second pause.
You'll take a deep,
Then
you'll
the
take a
pain
breath and go.
overwhelms you. You make a guttural noise, like no matter how tough you are, and you fall to the ground.
I've
When
won
guys, when guys get dropped with that, it's got to be the worst feeling in the world because your brain's telling you, get up. And your body's going, fuck you.
Wait, so he is just what, known for being fast
Beating on the
hands?
body and beating on the body and digging to the body. And it takes a lot of energy out of you. It takes a lot of stamina. It takes away your stamina if you start landing
Getting hit here.
hard body shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's known for throwing a high left hook and then coming back with a body left to the fucking kidney right there or the liver right there and knocking people out. Like seriously, you gotta see it. You gotta see it in person. I hope it happens tonight. Because you hear a hum and then the guy against his will goes to the ground.
I had one loss in my amateur career in 8th grade.
No.
Right? One loss.
You're
Kid-
45.
Oh
kid
boy,
15
still
years
talking
old.
about it.
Kid kicked me. No, kicked me in the stomach. I went down. Same thing. Ah, gone. And like nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about it.
What was the kid's
I
name?
never lost a fight. I told him to get off at my bus stop, and he goes, "Fuck you! I'll get on my bus stop." He was about this big. I was about this big. Karate, all that other shit. I didn't know, and I got my fucking world rocked. I mean,
man.
just absolutely embarrassed.
What was his
in front of
name? Can we
girls,
say his
everything
name?
else. I don't remember his name. I don't remember, but I know he was
You
about
should,
half my
you should hire a
size.
private investigator to find out his name and give this man the credit he fucking deserves.
I would love it. Now, my bouncing career, I was undefeated. The only one I walked away from was Kevin Randleman. So Kevin Randleman came into a bar one night, kicked the shit out of 8 people. I was telling you that story, and grabbed the man by his fat so hard that like the guy had bruising for weeks and weeks and weeks. And my manager walks up to me, she goes, "You've got to stop this." And I go, "Motherfucker, that's Kevin Randleman. Nobody's stopping this." So we all just watched like spectators in the bar that night. At Ohio State, yeah. And he
Good
just
choice.
He just beat Gracie.
Yeah, hang back.
He just beat Gracie. And it was like, dude, no. Because you fought Randleman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Randleman. I told you what. So I knocked Randleman out in the minute 18. Right after the fight, they did a negotiation with Pride for me to go over and fight Guy Metzger in Pride. So I go over and fight Guy Metzger. Good fight. Knocked him out. Knocked him dead. And me and Randleman are getting the same bus back to the airport the next day. And he's like, "Man, you know what, Chuck? I was really bummed you knocked me out. I thought I really sucked, but man, you're pretty good."
By the way, I love that. Really bummed you just knocked me out in front of a.
Is he from
Man,
Ohio?
pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
went to Ohio State.
Yeah, I hope so. I
That's
hope
a
I'm pretty
very
good.
Midwestern attitude.
Yeah, he wrestled at Ohio State, so like, he was a legend there.
Hey, all right, you got me.
But the weird thing was we used to, meet up at bars to watch him. And back then, he was fighting Royce Gracie, who was wearing a gi. He was wearing a karate gi in the ring. So we didn't really understand what was going on. Randleman beat him, and then it moved into your era where it was like, all right, huge guys knocking each other out, and it wasn't so much rolling around on the floor and karate geese anymore. It was a different sport. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, it was tough, man. He's a good guy. I liked him, but him and like the Coleman just never evolved. I remember I was in Pride. We were out at Pride watching the fights, and Randleman and Coleman are in the warm-up room the night before the fight. And one was fighting Fedor, and the other one was fighting Krokop. And they both come to me and, hey man, how do you think we should fight these guys? I'm like, you don't have a game plan yet?
Yeah, man. A little late. Yeah, what time is it?
Tomorrow. It's like, so Randleman, like, I'm like, okay, all the way in, all the way out. Just don't stand out there and let him kick you. Whatever you do, don't stand. He won the fight. He knocked him out. Yeah. But then Coleman asked me, how do you stop a heel hook? I'm like, okay, put me in a heel hook. He looked at me like I just asked him to do like differential equations. And he had no idea. I know how long have you been in this sport? You don't know how to do a heel hook?
Lazy.
Like they were still stuck in that. I'm gonna prove that wrestling is the best thing ever.
Oh my God.
You know what I saw this morning on ESPN? They replayed that fight between Hendo and fucking DC. That was a good fucking fight. Man, DC used to be cut as shit. Not anymore, right? Is he gonna fight Jake Paul? Do you think he can take that fight? So Jake challenged him to a boxing match. DC said, I'll do MMA. And Jake said, I'm not gonna do that. I don't do that. So what's gonna happen there? Anything?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. Didn't he try to get him to fight fight somebody else? He wanted to fight.
I don't know. They're looking at a bunch of people.
They're looking at a bunch of people right now. By the way, this guy is no Michael Buffer. This is what we're down to on DAZN.
He's doing a pretty good Michael Buffer impression.
Well, it's
he's got a little bit of the announcer. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Like a 40-inch long dreadlock.
Yeah, he looks like he should be selling weed in Venice Boulevard.
Yeah,
I hope he is. Wait, now, I didn't know that Saunders was a Brit.
Yeah.
Are there many fighters from the pond, or is that?
Lennox Lewis is one of the best heavyweight champions.
Lennox
of all time.
Lewis, Anthony Joshua.
But I'm saying, like, can we
Joshua,
count on the hands?
We get about four.
Yeah, but you're talking about champions.
Bartenders.
For sure. We can count about four from England. You're good to
People
go.
only remember the champions, though, right? Like Lennox Lewis was champ for
Of course.
6 years.
Yeah. He put England on the map, yeah?
Yeah. Like Lennox Lewis retired because there was nobody left to fight.
Yeah.
Like no one thought they could beat him.
Because you need one, right?
Was that a serious question?
What? No, dude, I'm just joking. Dude, half the things that come out of my... Dude, I know more about fighting than you do, Chuck. So anyway, guys. No, I mean, I just feel like you have to have one guy from a place to be great for the next generation to look up to, right?
Like the Philippines has Pacquiao.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And
Like
now everybody wants to be him. Every Mexican fighter wants to be Canelo.
Yes.
Sure.
And now here's where we're at, by the way. His promo is a form of Bitcoin.
Damn, is he 32-0?
Yes. But,
Wow.
No, he's 32-8. But here's the thing. They're promoting coins that don't exist now, and this is where we are as a society. I mean, that's your big sponsor, 100timescoin.io.
Yeah, he put all of his money into that, and he's gonna wait for it to spike tonight and then sell his shares in the morning.
Dude, I mean, Bitcoin fucking... Are you a Bitcoin guy? Do you have any...
Yeah, do your reps tell you to put in anything in crypto?
What's that?
Cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I have some, not much. A little bit. I don't know a lot about it. My buddy's been educating me a little bit, so I'm trying to figure that out.
You gotta get into Dogecoin because fucking Elon's on Saturday
It's on
Night
Saturday Night tonight.
Is crypto the same as NFT?
I'm gonna stab you so hard.
Because somebody told me you can sell a fart as an NFT.
Technically, that's correct.
That's all I needed to go, bye-bye, bye-bye, I'm out. I don't know what that means, but I don't want to be selling farts. Or maybe I do. Maybe I'm missing out.
You should, yeah.
Mike!
But like right now, the crowd's going bug fuck. I'm looking at this guy's sponsors. One of them is Jersey Mike's.
Love Jersey Mike's.
So do I, but is that where we're at in boxing? Like, It's kind of crazy to me.
I mean, the amount of sponsors you probably got, approached with, right? Crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had, it was good. It was good back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had.
Were you pretty selective, or was it just like money talks?
I had to like whatever.
Yeah, of
it
course,
was, but
right?
Yeah, I'm not too hard.
Yeah.
Are you a Jersey Mike's guy?
But I'm fine with Jersey Mike's.
Great answer, by the way. I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Bro,
I love Jersey Mike's.
Hey, I got 30 grand one time to put a guy's girlfriend's name on my shorts.
No way. Who would you still remember her name?
Marley Powers. My buddy thought it was
Yeah.
a power. It was like a power company or something.
That's amazing,
Dude.
dude.
Rich guys go. Hey, how much to put a name on your
So
shorts?
easy.
No way.
30 grand?
He's like,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Did you ever meet her?
I go, shit, I should have asked for more.
Yeah, of course.
Did you ever meet her?
Yeah, oh yeah. She's nice, cute.
What now? There's
Now this leads to
because
my
like my
question.
brain could be like,
Yes.
somebody's like, all right, Chuck, 100 grand to at the end of the fight, look in the camera, lick your lips, and say like the guy's name. Like, there's got to be a price tag at some point where you're just like, I mean, like, this is. I guess the name on the shorts is good enough.
A
Is Mike gonna
girl
come in?
put her name on your shirt.
You want to join us?
Come
Mike?
on in.
Yeah, let me join y'all here.
Come on in. Dan, grab the lob from Dan. You did. You got it. Oh, you're in. You're in. Michael Irvin is here. Cheers. What are you drinking there, Michael?
This is right there, baby.
There it is. Cheers.
That's my boy right there.
Cheers.
That's a 100-year-old bottle right there. That's Louis. That's that good stuff right there.
Oh, is that Louis Trey?
That's that good stuff. Oh, somebody about to get knocked up right now.
I know.
That's that good stuff right there, man. Listen.
God bless you, dude.
Cheers.
Guys, Mike,
I like
great,
that,
man. Chuck,
Love
baby.
Chuck.
Yeah, dude.
I like how I'm the piece of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? New York Times best-selling author. No big deal. Last book was #1 in the world, but it's fine. No, it's fine. No.
He could have walked over here with 2 glasses. He has 2 heads. He could have walked over here with 2 glasses. He has 2 heads. Don't you let him sell you.
Oh, don't you kiss me like
you know
that.
What I'm saying?
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
No, don't
Man, dude.
try.
Cheers, gentlemen. Fight
I'll
night.
give you a kiss in the end.
Fight night. Fight night.
Mike, I gotta know, does it get old coming in here?
No, it never gets old coming in here. Every time I come in here, you know what I think about? Look at this brother I built and didn't get the chance to play in.
I know.
They built this on my Super Bowl. This thing, oh my God! But it might be best because I would have gotten caught a couple times running down the field. Like, damn, that dude's sweet. I've been looking at me. I promise that's the one thing I think about. There's no way I wouldn't have been looking at that scoreboard.
Distracting, right?
Watch. I would have definitely looked at it.
Do you think the guys do that now? It's distracting,
But
yeah?
it's incredible now because football has moved so much. Like the stadium, all my stadiums are gone. I guess that says I'm old. You know what I mean? But the stadiums like we played in, high schools have them now. This is like a city. Now these stadiums are almost like cities that everybody has. They're incredible now. It's incredible.
When you walk in, you're retired on the 50-yard line. Michael Irvin, your name is up there on the 50-yard line here in the Ring of Honor. That's got to be the best feeling in the world. And you didn't play on this field.
Right, I did. And when I come here, no matter what event it is going on, I don't show no ticket. I park right beneath the stadium. I pull right up. They said, Michael, right next to Jerry's. They don't stop me. They let me go. So it's great from that standpoint. They've always been great around here, man. I was doing a show with Phil Simms, and the Cowboys were playing in New York. I said, hey, man, I think I'm gonna go to the game on Monday night. I said, you're going? He said, no, I don't have any tickets. I said, you need tickets? What shit you need tickets for? You won Super Bowls here. I said, man, when I go to that, I don't need a ticket. I pull right up. Police officers let them in. They stop traffic.
As they should.
As they should.
But part of it is you look identical to when you were playing.
Yeah, dude.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What is the
We were saying that
secret?
when you came in, what's the secret, man? How do we get the Mike Irvin body?
How do we get this?
80 push-ups a morning?
I hear do something. Man, you look, you still play. This shit ain't functional. This is just a look. Are you joking? This shit ain't functional. Chuck, you hear people saying that, you like, dude, you obviously don't know what it really takes to play. Like, that shit ain't, I'm talking about one hitch. Catch that hit, motherfucker hit me, I'm coming out that damn game. So, yeah, but I do want to look the part. You know what I mean?
Because the NFL Combine just happened. You look like you're running a 4.3. You still look like you're running a 4.3. It's crazy, yeah.
That's me running at my fastest, the 4.7. Mike Vick running at 50 at 45 years old. So you know how fast he is, man. But
when you talked about Dancing with the Stars, how much of that training bled over to post the show? Like, did you implement any sort of the workouts you guys did from the show?
Well, let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
And I never really share. Maybe a few people. I've never been that damn scared in my life.
That's what Chuck said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get nervous for shit. I go out and fight people and kill
Me
it.
neither. Oh,
No
but
problem.
this shit here, oh my God, this shit was serious business.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, my girl Anna, she kept saying, we should let somebody come in, she's Russian, we should let somebody come in and watch us perform. I was like, Anna, stop. I said, you don't know NFL football. I was like, do you know, people I play for 100,000. I play millions of people watching. When the time comes, I'll be ready. She said it for weeks. I said, when the time comes, I'll be ready. Dropped my voice, said it strong. And we were in the back, and they said we were dancing. Anna Dominova and Michael, I said, oh shit. My knees buckled. I said, I'm not ready. She said, you gotta be. Oh my God, I went out there, I did so poorly. I was so scared, I was stiff, man. The next day I went to work. Warren Sapp said I set black people back 30 years. He said, man, you have no hips, you set black people back 30 years. And then you remember, wait. And then the one to do, who was it? What was the guy named? The judge. One of the judges said to me, after like week 3 or 4, Bruno said, Michael, you're like the economy. We keep waiting on you to get better, and nothing happens. I was like, oh, snap, you know what I mean? I was like, man, but it was hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I've never
people
done
ask me how hard was that? And I use your quote all the time. I go, Michael said, hey, I'm used to telling my body what to do, and it just doesn't.
Right.
But dancing, it ain't fucking anything like that. I'm used to any sport I've ever played.
Right.
I just tell my body to do it, it does it. Hey, I gotta go do this, I gotta do that, okay? I used to be able to pick up any sport.
It's the hardest thing in the world.
Guys, I hate to pop out, but they want me to go fight, so I'm gonna
Go ahead.
Hey, let's call somebody in.
Let me ask you this. What round did you go out? What round did you go out in Dancing with the Stars? Who made it the furthest?
Yeah, I lasted a minute.
He lasted, man.
I lasted like 7. No, but let me tell you what happened though. I only lasted because every time I was walking through the airport, like all the little old ladies, the Cowboy fans, they were like, Michael, those judges are hard on you. We're going to keep voting you in. I'm like, stop voting me in. No, let me go.
You were done, yeah.
After a while, I was like, man, we got to get out of here.
I'm done.
We're not winning this.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but right before the week I got kicked out, me and my buddy went out drinking one night. We went by the studio.
Yeah.
I told him, and then as we were leaving, he decided to steal the lockbox. And I didn't know until we got home. I got home and he got the lockbox for the practice studio.
Yeah.
And they all freaked out and like they're changing the locks. And all that. I find out, I'm like, oh shit. So I come in and I go, here you go. Guys, my buddy took this and I'm sorry. And they got really quiet and they all pissed off. My buddy and I said, hey man, guys, my buddy took this and I'm sorry. And they're like,
I know that lockbox. That's on Island. Island in Santa Monica. I know where that lockbox is.
I'm off. I'm gone. Get rid of that motherfucker.
You bringing them hood rats around here.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame asked me one time, right? They said, when I got inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame, they said, we're going to give you the bus room to have your family dinner before the Hall. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have the bus room where all the bus start. I was like, they said, what? Nobody's ever done that before. We give you the bus room. And I thought about it like, oh hell no. Like, I got 16 brothers and sisters. Them Irvins from Florida, man, they'd have been stealing bus, taking bus.
Touchdown, yeah, you already know.
Goddamn, man, y'all not finna, you're not about to have me tell the whole world saying my family stole all these Hall of Fame busts. We'll have dinner somewhere else. You know, just like Chuck saying, because you got people in your yesterday that really don't understand your today and tomorrow. And you're trying to bring them along, and they just, hey, man.
Some of them won't ever get it.
They won't ever
get it. They won't ever get it. Speaking of famous family, hey, you've got one of the most famous families of all time. What's that like growing up in that?
Man, it was all I knew. So, you know, for me, it was one of those type of things, whereas growing up, I try to tell people all the time, like, when my dad was, like, at his heyday, he was like the Jordan of sports almost. In football, he had the first person to have his own shoe and everything else like that. So, you know, I was born the same day of his first college game, though. So, like, I went for the whole ride. So, like, I never knew nothing else. You know what I mean? But I didn't look at it. I honestly didn't realize the impact he had on football until I got to the University of Pittsburgh. When I got to Pitt, that's when I started to recognize everything that was going on.
You had to deal with that thing hanging over you.
Yes,
with
over
that
and over
name
again.
too?
Yes.
Man, come on,
You know
man.
what? I think for me, like, it was a better situation going there and being surrounded by it, because at the same time I was surrounded by so much family.
Right.
Anywhere else, if I would have
They're
been
gonna
detached
protect it.
from
Right.
everywhere,
That's
from
true.
everybody else,
That's true.
it probably would have been a little bit more difficult to deal
Right.
with.
That's
you know
true.
what I
That's
mean?
true. 'Cause they
So
gonna protect
I was
it.
30
That's
minutes from both of my grandmothers. All my aunts
That's
and uncles,
good.
both sides of the family was there, so it worked out good for me.
And when you come out and you succeed like you did, stayed in the NFL for so long, was that a nice moment of like, all right, great. That pressure is off me, that monkey is off my back?
You know, so like me coming up, I never dealt with that. I never looked at that pressure. Fortunately, you know, like, and it's so many like second generation kids that you see actually playing sports and getting involved, and some of them have success and some of them don't. But I think the key thing that was good for me was that I was always Anthony. You know what I'm saying? And so like, and like, I'm from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, just like my dad is. So like, it don't get no harder than it gets in your family. So, you know, like, so everything that was instilled in me and everything that I just grew up, I never looked at that stuff. I never paid no attention to it, to be honest.
What did TD do to keep? What did TD do to help to get you to feel that way? Because that's a hell of a thing. Like you said, that's the baddest dude in the world, and he was. I don't care what. TD was bad. TD saw two dudes come and split. They go crash each other. The baddest dude in the world. How can you have his name, play his game, and not feel that pressure? What did he do to cover that?
So, I'm gonna tell you what it really was. It was my mom, more so than anything. You know what I'm saying? And then it was the duality of having the lifestyle to be down here and see how people with money lived and did everything, compared to being back home in Aliquippa, where like, and just being around my family where people didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was living on both spectrums basically. You know what I'm saying? And it was the balance that came together more so than anything. But like, for us in my family, you know, like, my dad is the only person on his side of the family to make it. But the same year my dad was the number 3 pick, my cousin is Gary Jeter. He was the number 7 pick of the draft. Ty Law is my cousin on my mom's side. Like, we got so many people from the Jeters and all this on my mom's side of the family that, like, you know, like, that's all I ever saw growing up. And like, everybody from the hood plays sports. So for me, like going back to the question though, like the pressure side of it, you know, like, I really didn't play into it too much.
But for us, we all have kids. Michael Irvin, what do you tell your kids about being a professional athlete if that's the choice they want to make?
Well, I can tell you exactly what I told him. I said, listen, man, at this game, like your game, physical skill set matter. But the most important thing is you got to match the hunger of that dude across from you. You can be, I don't care how high you jump, how fast you run. If you don't match his hunger, you get your ass whooped. Period, point blank, let's stop. It's not golf. See, in golf, you don't have to match the hunger of that little white ball. It ain't got no hunger. You just got to be able to direct it. You know what I mean? This game, in order to do your job, you got to go through another man who's trying to feed his family. And so you got to match that hunger, bar none.
But how do you match the hunger
when you were actually hungry growing up.
And that's
now,
exactly what I
your
did.
kids aren't hungry
That's
now.
exactly what I did. And I'm gonna tell you what I did. I
master
sent my
hunger?
kid away.
How does a privileged kid
And that's
master
really
hunger?
the question
And so,
that
like,
we
yeah.
just asked TD. That's really the question we just asked TD.
And so, like right
Really.
now, my cousin Ty's son is going to be a senior in high school next year. He's playing at that high school down there in Florida where Surtain is coaching at. The one in that, yeah. So,
Right now.
Ty's son is down there, and so
That's what I did to my son.
Yeah,
I sent him the floor.
So Ty called me up and he was like, what was it? You know what I mean? And like it was really just about like when I say like truly like I bought into the fact that I was Anthony. Like I knew the whole story with my dad and the Heisman and they had to do TD for touchdown and all this other kind of stuff. So like I never bought into like the whole image change or none of that stuff and anything else like that. And it was just one of those type of things where like I knew that it was like I knew what I was dealing with. I wasn't crazy. Like, I mean, I knew. And even when I got in the league, it was a situation where, like, I could have a bomb game in the league and my teammates would be like, yo, if I did that same game, I might get player of the week. They like, you do some shit, like stuff, you know, like, you can't never do enough.
Yeah, and they'll be like, hey, your dad did it better. Your dad did it better. Your game of the week, your dad did it better.
So it's one of them things that, like, what Mike said, like, when you ain't that kid that grow up that didn't have his lights turned off, that wasn't hungry at night, you know what I'm saying? And you have all this stuff. Where do you go here to match that dude across? And that's the stuff. That's where that
But
switch
there are
got to
other
come on.
hungers than just hungry. There are more hungers. There are some guys, and this is why I always say I measure men in distance travel. There are some guys that, and maybe, don't tell me about where you are, tell me about where you started. And then let me see where you are, measure you accordingly. Because there are other hungries. Well, I could have a hungry, I want to be better than my dad. No matter what, and that's my drive. I want to be better than my dad. I want to make sure, so the guy that got left $1 billion, but he turned that into $10 billion.
Yeah.
Because of that hunger, I'm going to measure him accordingly. That's a hell of a man.
Yeah.
Or the guy that grew up in the neighborhood without anything to eat, but he wanted to feed his family. That's a hungry man, and he made it to the league. I can appreciate that drive. But there are also guys that have things that just say, hey, you know what? I want to top my dad. I want to be the best. There are other hungers. You may have a hunger to be the best. Nobody came before you. Yeah. Nobody in my family came before me in playing football, but this is what I want to do. I want to be the best at this, you know what I mean? So I had to put off that hunger along with having been 15 to 17 and ain't nothing on this damn plate, even to eat too. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But there are different hungers. We just got to tap into that hunger.
The mental aspect is the heart of it, though, because how do you overcome that when you have everything to treat it like, all right, great. It's either I want to beat my dad or it'll probably give me the money for my trust fund. Like that's the hardest thing that nobody can really get.
So what Mike don't understand and like what his kid probably tell him though is this. Like Mike gave everybody his best. His son get everybody's best because they like, yo.
Right.
You beat Lil Mike.
That's the other side.
You beat Lil Mike.
That's the other side
Lil
we
Mike
ain't talking
and you beat
about.
Mike.
Right,
So
right.
What happened to me was like, when I was 12 years old, the first year I started playing tackle.
That's good. That's a good point.
The first year I started playing tackle football, like I was at practice one day, and I don't even know who this man was to this day. But he called me, he was like, Lil Dorsett, come here. So I went over to the fence, and he was like, don't look right now. He said, I want you to look over there in a minute. And so like a couple seconds later, I looked over there and everybody over there was looking at us.
Yeah.
He was like, you see all them looking at you? That's they daddies, all them daddies telling their little boys to beat you, do this, do that.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know what that means? He was like, you know what that means? I ain't think about that with these.
That's a victory for the dad. If their kids win, that's a victory for the dad.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
They're going to tell everybody.
They're going to tell them.
My son beat Dorsett's son.
Yeah. Exactly. My kid beat Michael Irvin's son's kid, dude. Fuck him.
You know, I had the same
So
thing. I had the same thing with my
right
kid.
there was the thing
my
that
son
changed
to go
it.
wrestle.
That changed it. That changed it right
As a
there.
little kid.
You don't
I
think
tell guys, you
like your
can't beat
kid
up
ain't
on
gonna
him.
never like. But
Right,
trust me,
he's
so
right,
every
right,
time,
you're right.
every time his son line up against somebody, he getting their best every damn time. Every time.
Right.
And like it's a totally different
so
story.
funny, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, trust me.
And it's the truth. Like with you, Chuck, I mean, you knock people out for a living like we're watching right now.
I'm sure everybody wants to knock your kids out.
Yeah, well, they're training to wrestle. They go to wrestling.
I knocked out Chuck Liddell.
You guys can't pick on my kids.
Knocks him out.
I'm
Chuck,
worried
he
about
fight.
that, 'cause my son is he's such a nice kid, but
Does he fight?
he wrestles, he's just trying to wrestle.
Right.
If he wants to fight. I'm one of those people, I'm going to teach him how to fight.
Right.
I'm going to defend himself. I'm not going to push you. Hey, he's going to be an athlete, man. He's fast. He loves to run, loves to race. He loves to run. But he's a tough kid, man. He's 7 years old, but everyone's like, you're going to have him fight it then? If he wants to. You have to, fighting's one of those things.
That's a hell of a thing to watch your son do some UFC, though. It takes a man to watch. Listen, I was upset at the NFL because this game get too soft. Like, it's too soft, man. We're changing all these damn rules. We're getting too soft. And then I watched my son get hit. I was like, man, we got to fix this. Like, this too dangerous out here. You know what I mean? Like, my shit changed. It changed. Like, we got to fix this. It's getting too dangerous. We can't be hitting people in the head like this. I was just saying, when everybody else was playing, this stuff soft. Then my son get on about it, hey, this is crazy. We got to do, So to go from that to seeing my boy take
the funny thing
UFC is a whole different level. I don't know if I can do it.
So I had a partial knee replacement a little while back. I was playing soccer with my kids. And my son comes up, hey, Dad, it's okay. You don't have to chase this. Because I was having a hard time. I was hobbling after him getting hurt. He's like, what happened, Dad? He's like, well, I fought for a living, son. My body got pretty beat up. I had a lot of wear and tear. And he paused for a second. He looks at me and goes, I want to be a fighter, Dad. I'm like, did you just hear what I said?
Right.
I was paying attention. You want to be a fighter? All right, son.
That's how it is. If you're that type of dad, and I got a 6-year-old son, and so it's been the best part of anything that I've ever done. But if you're that type of dad and your son looks at you and wants to do what you do, you might not want to, but inside you
it's something. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something right. You know what
everything stands up right. So
like I started movies. My kid, all he wants to do is start movies. They get, Dad, I see you on TV. I go, it's not that easy. Go do something else. I love you, but it's a gentle hand where you're like, maybe try something else. Maybe just give it something else. So, as a father, you don't know, and then you get in it, and now you're in it, and you're like, all right, shit.
My son, man, he's playing flag football. He's already played soccer. He's played t-ball. He's swam. He's done all this stuff already. But then, the cool thing about it, he's speaking Spanish, Portuguese, English. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know where this 6-year-old boy's mind is. It's so further than where I was at that age. You know what I mean? And so, any parent, we all want our kids to have way better than we did anyway.
Right. When they have accessibility, access. We're growing up, we thought when we started school late, everything, all of that. But now they're starting to learn from 2 years old now. Yes. Because before we didn't think you started learning till you're 5 or 6. And now they're learning early on this. So they got all the information right in the palm of their hands. I think about when I wanted to find out something about my dad, I would have to try to go to the library, find this, go to section, go to I, you remember they were on the Dewey Decimal System. What the hell is a Dewey?
Microfiche. Microfiche.
Go through all of that junk. Now we got to do and everything you want comes up. It's a different world. And they are much smarter.
Yeah. Well, look, hey, we appreciate you guys being on the show. Real quick here before we get out of here, because Canelo's coming on in about 2 rounds. Who do you got tonight, Canelo? Yeah, Canelo. What round?
Now, I'm saying it's going to go about the 6th, 7th round.
That's what I got. What do you got?
I'm going to go early. I got 5. Well, I said 5, 6, or 7, but I'll take 5.
As you can hear with the cheers in the background, Canelo is warming up. He's getting ready to come out. I've got Canelo in 7. Michael, who do you got?
I got Canelo in 8 because 8 is half of 88, and I had 8 throwing it to 88. Yeah, so Canelo in 8.
And he is retired in the building. 88 is retired in the building.
And my name is in the building. So whenever your name is on the floor, you should run the door.
And when you get retired in the building and you haven't played in the building, you know you had a better career than everybody else. Congratulations. Hey, for Icebreakers, Chuck Liddell, Drinkin Bros podcast, Michael Irvin, Mr. Dorsett, thank you for being here. Adam Ray, hop on in here.
Close this out.
Close it out. What do you got?
9 years ago, I met Michael Irvin in San Francisco. Look at that shit. He looks the same. I look like dog shit. Fuck, that's not the point.
You look younger.
Mike said to me,
You and Jay-Z grow out the hair, you look younger.
It's
crazy.
Stadium in 9 years. At the new one, I go, they haven't even built it yet. He goes, fuck that shit, dude. They are. Meet me there. We'll have cocktails and nachos. You held up your end of the bargain, man. Here we are.
That's good TV right there.
It is. Cheers, everybody. Fight night with the boys live from Jerry World. Good night, everyone.